Rasputitsa is the name given to the terribly muddy conditions that affect Russia and Ukraine when spring temperatures melt the winter snow. It was a huge problem when first Napoleon and then Hitler tried to invade Russia, and it's now a huge problem for Putin trying to invade Ukraine. France 24 reports that springtime temperatures are starting to turn Ukraine into a quagmire of mud. This has led to many Russian armored vehicles and even tanks getting stuck in the stuff, forcing their crews to abandon them. This means Russian armor has to stay on roads and can't risk maneuvering over open ground. Ukraine's army has been able to exploit this limitation by getting information on where the convoys are moving toward. They can then choose an ambush point and use trucks to pull long-range artillery pieces into a position where it can hit the ambush point accurately. Drones can then be used to show when the enemy reached the ambush point. Drone footage recently showed how one such artillery ambush managed to drop shells on dozens of Russian tanks that had clustered together in the town of SKYBYN. The drone recorded as shell after shell rained down on the armored vehicles, scoring a few direct hits. The convoy then quickly retreated back up the road it came in on. Ukrainian missile teams then moved in and managed to destroy more of these tanks just north of SKYBYN. Russian armor continues to amass around major cities in Ukraine while mostly keeping to paved roads, where Ukrainian infantry units can often engage them with anti-tank missiles from short distances. Western analysts are surprised that Ukrainian artillery can still function, as these weapons are usually taken out quickly when a major power uses its large air force to achieve air superiority and bomb all slow-moving ground targets. One of the reasons why Ukraine can still move its artillery around is because Russia has held its air force back in fear of man-pads, or man-portable air defense systems. The Stinger missile is one such a man-portable air defense system, and the U.S. is sending many to Ukraine. The U.S. recently committed to sending another $350 million worth of weapons to Ukraine, bringing the one-year total donation to $1 billion. Among these weapons are a large number of Stinger missiles, which are designed to destroy fighter jets and helicopters with the pull of a trigger. The Stinger system can be carried by one person and is fired from the shoulder. The operator aims the launcher at the target until the missile's infrared seeker locks onto the heat of the target aircraft's engine exhaust. When the seeker locks on, it makes a buzzing noise. The operator then pulls the trigger, causing a small launch rocket to shoot the missile out of the tube. This launch rocket then drops away and the missile's folded steering fins pop out. The main rocket ignites, propelling the Stinger to approximately 2,500 km per hour, or Mach 2. The missile uses its steering fins to steer itself to the target automatically. When it gets close to the aircraft, its warhead detonates, destroying vital systems with blast effect and fragmentation. The system was heavily used by Afghan fighters during the Soviet occupation in the 1980s. Up to 250 Soviet fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters were claimed to have been shot down by Stingers. In total, the Stinger is credited with around 300 shoot-downs worldwide. The Stingers and other expensive Western man-pads and anti-tank missiles have been able to slow down the Russian advance. However, Russia has still been able to get a large artillery force in position around Ukraine's major cities, and analysts believe it's only a matter of time before these artillery pieces start pounding these cities to rubble. A few of Russia's feared thermobaric missile launchers have been seen entering the Ukraine, which means that large parts of Ukrainian suburbs could soon be vacuum bombed, leading to massive civilian casualties. The Guardian reports that Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S. says Russia has started using thermobaric weapons to bomb Ukrainian cities. This comes in the wake of multiple social media posts showing TOS-1 thermobaric missile launchers entering Ukraine. The TOS-1 vehicle can fire 34 thermobaric missiles in 15 seconds, and each missile can destroy buildings within hundreds of meters of the detonation point. The missile can be fired up to 6 kilometers away. When it hits its target, an initial charge distributes an aerosol made up of very fine material, which could be anything from a carbon-based fuel to tiny metal particles. This highly flammable cloud is then ignited by a second charge. When the cloud erupts, it creates a massive shockwave, as well as a vacuum as it sucks up all the surrounding oxygen. The blast wave can last for significantly longer than a conventional explosive and is capable of vaporizing human bodies. It is, however, designed to destroy defensive positions, which means it causes massive damage to city buildings, while also causing many human casualties. Marcus Hellyer of the Australian Strategic Policy Institute says it's only a matter of time before Russia starts using thermobaric weapons, as their use is pretty standard in terms of Russian warfare tactics. Hellyer said he expected to see more thermobaric warfare in Ukraine.
For more news animations and explainers, hit the subscribe and bell button to join the TomoNews family. Thanks for watching.